Before God flooded the earth, giants walked among men. But who were they, and why did they appear just before the world was destroyed? The Bible calls them the Nephilim, and their story remains one of Scripture's greatest mysteries. As the earth filled with people, families grew, cities expanded, and generation after generation covered the land. Then Genesis tells us that they, sons of God, saw the daughters of men and took them as wives. The Bible doesn't explain every detail, but it tells us that something extraordinary happened. Genesis says, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days. They became known as mighty men of old, men of great renown. Their presence has fascinated readers of the Bible for thousands of years. But the greatest problem wasn't the giants. Human hearts had become corrupt. Violence spread across the earth, and wickedness grew from one generation to the next. People continually turned away from God and chose evil instead of righteousness. The Lord saw the corruption that covered the earth. Every intention of the human heart had become continually evil, and judgment was drawing near. Yet in the middle of that corrupt generation, one man stood apart from everyone else. His name was Noah. He walked faithfully with God when almost everyone around him refused to do so. Noah was warned that a great flood was coming. He was commanded to build a massive ark, a place of safety for his family and for the animals that would enter with them. Year after year, Noah built the ark. People laughed. They mocked him. They refused to believe that judgment was coming. But Noah remained faithful and continued to obey. Then the day finally arrived. The animals entered the ark 2 by 2. Noah and his family stepped inside, and the door was shut. The skies opened. Rain poured down. The fountains of the deep burst forth, and floodwaters covered the earth. The mighty could not escape. The powerful could not escape. Even the Nephilim could not escape. No human strength could stand against the judgment that swept across the world. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain continued to fall, while the ark floated safely above the waters. When the flood finally ended and the earth became dry again, Noah stepped out of the ark. His first act was not to build a home, but to worship God with a grateful heart. Then a brilliant rainbow appeared across the sky, a sign of God's covenant and a reminder of his faithfulness. The Nephilim remain one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. Scripture tells us they existed, but leaves many questions unanswered. Perhaps that is because Genesis is not really a story about giants. It is the story of a holy God who judges sin, yet in his mercy provides a way of salvation for those who trust him. Just as Noah entered the ark by faith, God still calls us to trust him today. The greatest mystery isn't who the Nephilim were. It's why so many people ignored God's warning when the door to salvation was still open.